Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Yvette with Yvette's Junk Journal Shop. In today's video I'm going to do a tutorial on how I'm making these clusters that I'm creating. These will be available in my shop soon in little groups, but I wanted to share the process with how I made them. So here I've used a key, so this all started with the dyed paper that I did some trades for with several of my friends from a Facebook group. And then I got all these wonderful different dyed papers, so I wanted to use them to make some clusters. And I had these little keys and I wanted to incorporate them somehow. And then I have a punch that I picked up, a butterfly punch that I picked up somewhere along the way. And I've never really used it, so I thought I would use that. So I'm just going to go through sort of some of the finished ones that I've made, and then we'll go ahead and get into the video. So I used a key on some of them. Some of them I used like little flat back bling pieces. Each one of them has a label of some sort. And then I used a pen to just draw the little antenna on there. And then I also made some using little white buttons, and I think those turned out really cute. So we'll go through at the end the ones that we make in the video and then the ones that I've made here, just so you can kind of get an idea of what you can do with them. But for now I just want to get into the tutorial portion, so you can watch that and then watch at the end if you want to see a reveal of all of the different ways that I put them together. So there's our little cup with the completed ones. So what I've done here, this is part of the paper edging, you know, the perforated paper. This is a doily that I've kind of cut up. And then I have some ledger paper. And this ledger paper is different on both sides, so I have to, as I'm using it, I decide which side I want to use in that particular cluster. And then here's some dictionary pages. We have some darker colored dyed paper, coffee dyed paper. We have some natural dyed paper here. And I have some music paper. Kind of move these so that I can have room to work. And then here's kind of a peachy colored tea dyed paper, or coffee dyed paper, or tea dyed something, some sort of dyed. And then I think this is onion skin dyed. So I'm going to just kind of lay these out. And kind of my process, I use a stapler, so you'll need that. You'll need some glue. I use Fabri-Tac. I've got my little jar of vintage buttons there. Here's some little bling. And then I have some distressed ink. I'm using the walnut stain, and I have a little makeup brush that I apply that with. Here are the big butterflies that I punched out, and here are some little butterflies that I punched out. This is the punch I used. I got it somewhere for I think about $3. So that's what we're going to need. I have scissors if I want to trim down the little labels here. So I've just gathered, I have a whole little box full of different labels. Some are from kits, some are digital kits, some are from magazines or books, and then or even scrapbook paper, and I'll just cut those out, throw those in the bin, and then I use those as I need them. So I don't know exactly where they came from, but yeah, if you guys want sources for labels, Tracy Fox is a great source for that. So let's go ahead and I'll show you here just kind of some of the clusters that I've already made. I just put one staple on, and then I go back and I'll glue these other sections down as I go. So I have a whole pile over here that I've already done, just probably 30 or so. And then I'm just going to create a couple here on camera and then do the completed project so you can see exactly what we're doing. So without further ado, I just start to kind of grab things. I go more for color or size, and you can decide how you want those things. Now see, I want these numbers to show, so I might turn this way, but then I don't want to have that on the front because I want this to be maybe a writing space. So then perhaps maybe like this. And it doesn't really matter. Don't overthink it too much. Just kind of stick them together is the best process I've found, because otherwise I was spending way too much time trying to figure out exactly when I wanted to go exactly where. And I didn't want to keep doing that. It was getting annoying. So this is a piece of a like paper doily, and the middle part had a pattern on it, so maybe like that. And remember, we're going to be putting a butterfly or 2 or 3 on there, so you want to leave space for that. If you don't have a butterfly punch, I think like a scallop punch with a little you know, image in the middle, or even just the image itself would be really cute. I kind of like how those both have dots on them, but they need something to break it up. I kind of like the peach color going on with this one, so I think I'll just do like that. And we'll do one more just for fun. So this is a fun little quick project. I've had a lot of fun putting these together and kind of creating them as I go along. Okay, so I'm going to gather up the extra papers here so that we don't have those in our way while I work. Give me a second here for that. I don't do a whole lot of tutorials, so I try to stay very organized, but yeah, anyway. There we go. And then these are the 4 that we're going to be working on. So there's our basic outline of how I do it. Now, if you want to ink these, you can ink them before, or, you know, maybe like this one, I might ink a little bit just around the edge. So if you want to do that, I would do that before or at this point before we start gluing the paper down. Sometimes it just helps those pieces kind of stand out a little if you ink them. I didn't do a lot of inking because I'm using the dyed papers, so I kind of wanted that to shine. But you know, looking at that one here, I just was like, oh, I want to put a little bit of ink on that. Okay, so the next step is to glue down all of the edges that are loose, because this one staple is not going to hold this for us to do our work. So I just kind of go in here like this and glue it down, and I kind of estimate where it's going to go. Probably why I don't do tutorials, because I don't really plan things out. I just kind of craft as I go along. So that one goes almost to the edge there. So if I come up here, and again, don't overthink it, but you don't want glue everywhere. So, all right, so that one's done. Next one we'll glue down, and you just go through, and I do a whole bunch of these at once so that then I can just get going and start creating the next step. I don't really do a lot of mass make, but these I have been doing because I'm getting them ready to sell in my shop. So if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you'll want to be watching for upcoming sales. Dawn with Scrapbook Sage and I are doing occasional Saturday live sales as we both can. So you'll be wanting to watch for that. I do my handmade ephemera from different people in my shop, and I show those first now in the live videos. So you'll want to watch those to get the first dibs on the new ephemera coming in. So the journals, I might show those occasionally during a live sale if there's interest, but most of the time I'm finding people who are coming to the live sales are wanting the handmade ephemera. So it's just a little bit more efficient way for me to get videos out and items sold, because putting them on my site, on my Ko-fi shop, and listing them and taking the photos, that takes a lot of time. And I am back to work full-time after my car accident at my one job and part-time at my other job. So these live sales have been really great. I think people like coming to them. We have a lot of fun on there. You can chat. And we do run the chat through Dawn's channel. I do stream it at the same time on my channel. But we're doing the live chat on Dawn's channel because she's helping me kind of stay organized with things. So when she shares items she's selling, I keep track of the chat, and then vice versa. So that has worked greatly. Dawn and I are good friends, so we always like hanging out together. So there we have those 4 glued down, ready to go. This is how I do my desk. Hey, keeping it real. Okay, so we have these 4 now that look like this. And then the next step, I put the butterflies on, and I kind of decide, I punch those also out of the paper, so I kind of decide which side of the butterfly I want to show. And then just put a little glue on there. Sometimes I'll put it over the staple. Sometimes I'll put it somewhere else. I kind of like this one in the corner. So sometimes the staple will show, sometimes not. Just depends on the mood that I'm in at that moment. I love the pattern on this one. It's like a check. So, yep, just glue these down. We'll be doing one with a couple of little butterflies as well. Let's do that. So we've got these, and these clusters are actually turning out a little bit bigger than my other ones, which is fine because I want a variety. So the little guys, I just kind of put a little glue on there. Those are cute. And you can do different colors. You could do this out of, I thought about cutting the butterflies out of like a flower catalog. And then I thought they'd be really cute with the little flowers on there. So as I'm working with them, I'm coming up with more and more ideas. So that's fun. All right, and then we'll do this one. Oh, I want another one of those little checked ones. Those are cute. So I hope you guys enjoy this video and give it a try. You can always share on Yvette's Junk Journal Yvette's Junk Journal Shop Friends and Fans page on Facebook. We have quite a group over there. And we'll do one more on this guy. Okay, so the butterflies are down now. So the next part, I like to draw the antenna and the little legs or whatever those are. These little guys. So this one, I think I'm going to put buttons on this one. So I am not going to put the little legs, and I'll show you why here as we go along. Then on the bigger one, I kind of like to do a little bit more of an antenna. Antennae, I guess. All right. So this one we'll do first. Now I don't have any keys. I used up the little keys that I had out before I started the video. So I don't have any keys at the moment. So we'll just be using buttons and bling on here. But the keys I just glued down as the body of the butterfly. And you can choose different sizes. There are different size blings. So I just kind of choose whichever one I'm looking at. This one here with the pretty little pattern on the bottom, I might choose a smaller one just to kind of accent that pattern on the paper. And then we need a label on there would be the next step. So I'm going to leave that there. I normally would go ahead and, well, we can put the label on. I know it has this on here, so I kind of want to stay away from another word. So I'll go ahead and just put this number on here. Maybe right here. And so that one I would call complete. So here's this one. We're going to do buttons on this one. So I have some perler cotton. I think they call it pearl cotton. And I'm going to choose this color here. It's kind of a peachy color. Bring my buttons over a little closer to us. Now, some of these have the little piece of thread already in there because it's like the vintage thread. So I just leave that. I don't add to that. I like the looks of that. So I'm just going to put that on there. In fact, with this one, I think I'm going to do all the buttons. We'll use this thread on the next one. But I'm going to use all the buttons that have the thread just because I like that kind of worn look. And you can turn it so that it, you know, it looks more like it goes with the direction of the body. I have one more here, itty bitty one. So I like the vintage thread on there. I just leave it whenever I find a button that has that. I just leave that on there. And then they'll need some little leggies. Where to put my pen? There we go. So I'm just going to come in here and kind of give them little legs. Okay, then we need a label for that. So this has no words on it. Maybe we'll put a bigger word on here. Just kind of seeing what I want to do here. Guess I should be in frame here for you. So I kind of like that. I want a little color on there, so maybe this one with a little number, but then I have these numbers here. So I'm thinking this one. It says be loving. So it's okay with me to put, you know, writing on top of writing or whatever. But sometimes if I have, you know, already numbers on there, I want to add a word instead. So if I had like a dictionary page, I probably wouldn't put a word, but maybe I would. It just depends. So we'll let that one sit over here and dry. This one has the larger butterfly on it. So I could use like this big button on there, which I think I'm going to do so I can show you how I do the thread. So I just run the thread through, run it straight across, run it back through the first one that I came out of, so that we have, and I could have threaded this too, but it's like usually pretty easy to get those in there without using a needle and taking that time. Push that through there. And then back through the posing side so that your threads are coming out on each side. I'm sure you guys know how to do that, but you never know. More and more people I'm finding are trying crafts for the first time, and that's cool. I have been a crafter my whole life, so. And then I just cut those off, glue that down. Just like that, and then I make sure that those kind of just hang down. So really cute. Then this one needs a label. So again, I have words on there, so I don't really want words. I have this number I could use, or I have this number, which I think I like better with the color on the thread. And this one I think I'm going to cover up the staple, just so I can show you how I do that. Pretty simple. I just glue over the top of it. So just put that on there, kind of smooth it down. And I'm going to call that one complete. And then this one, we have the butterfly there. And let's see, we can do maybe a multiple bling here. That looks cute. You think you have a certain color until you turn it over and it's a different color. All right, so how I do this, these smaller ones, is I just put the glue on and then I stick them on. Now I could get out my little tweezers that I have and do all that, but I find it's just easier for me to do it this way. Plus it teaches me a bit of patience, which I can always work on. So there's that. And then let's go ahead and put a label on there. And my numbers are upside down, but you know what? That's fine. Sometimes life is upside down. For sure. If it really bothered you, you could go back in there and put a little trim piece on there. And, you know, just kind of come in like that with something. You get the idea. Or a piece of lace or something like that. But I'm not going to let it bother me. I think it looks all right. Okay, so here are the 4 that we completed. That went relatively quickly, I think. Here we have that one. And this one. All right, so I'll just go through here some of the other ones that I made, show you the ones with the keys so you can see those as well. And again, some of these will be available in my shop. I'm going to be using them. I always give little gifts when I send out packages, so they might be in there. I might put some in Happy Mail. But yeah, I will have some available for sale here, probably in the next live sale. So I'll be watching for that. So here's some with the key. I think they turned out really cute. So I might be pulling out some of my other punches and trying different ways. I love the little rose on that key. Yeah, I'll just go through these as we end the video here. Again, you can check out all of the things I have for sale on my Ko-fi shop. That's Yvette's Junk Journal on Ko-fi. And I have several free digital kits in there as well. You'll want to check that out. I add those from time to time. I also have membership on there, so if you like what you see on my channel and what I'm doing here, for as little as $3 a month, you can support me. And there's a lot of great benefits to that. So check that out too. That's on Ko-fi under membership. And I also offer free digitals that are exclusive for my members. So shout out to my Ko-fi members. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, so that's today's video. I hope you guys give this a try. Let me know in the comments what you think and if you're going to give this a try or not. I'd love to see what you come up with. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. See you in the next video.